Hi YouTubers, my name's Mike and today I'm going to show you how to put a vent fan in for your microwave oven. It was existing and if I would show you what I'm going to do before I start. Unplug my microwave and the top bolts are what hold it on and a bracket on the back. The bracket's back there. Fan was on. And since it has a flap here, and this is going to be the exterior of the house when we get done, that's not going to be in the way. But I'm positive, because I've had electric ran into the wall, there's going to be a stud in the wall, right where that line is, for the 110 and the 220 only. So there are a lot of videos on here how you could just cut the studs out and box it out so if it's a load-bearing wall, you can hold it. First I'm going to take the microwave down by taking them two bolts out. Okay, this bolt's loose. Now this one's loose. As you can see, the only thing that's holding this thing up right now is the 2x4. So I'm going to pull the 2x4 out by myself. And I'm going to set the microwave down on this scrap piece of drywall. That wasn't too bad. And we're going to take advantage of, since we have the microwave out, we're going to clean her up. It's greasy. Measuring twice. That's 10 1/4 by 3 1/2. And that is the vent. We want that to come through the wall. It's a lot bigger than what we got coming on the back of the microwave. And if I measure up from the bottom of my bracket, I got 15 3/4 at the top of this hole. And if you come over this way, basically 10 to 20. So the vent, outside exhaust vent louver, is a lot bigger than the hole. So the 15 3/4 up, we're gonna put here, and we're gonna come down 3 1/2 in case they ever put a different microwave in here. Because there's the actual hole. And we're gonna follow this line, we're gonna cut it out bigger. When you're measuring, make sure that you allow the lip of the cabinet. As you can see, if you measure off of this, your measurement's going to be off. Let's cut the hole and find out where we get here. For safety reasons here, we're just going to use a keyhole saw to cut through here, but there's 220 volts coming from the attic. You don't know where it's coming from unless you have a basement, so I would recommend that you shut off your breaker for your 220. If you listen closely, I can feel a wire. So that's why we do safety. Okay, that's one cut. And right there is the edge of the stud. So we're gonna make it work. We don't have to worry about cutting the stud out. That's good news. Okay, let's see what we got. 220, 110. We'll go ahead and continue to cut our hole all the way out. Right, so that we don't have to move this electric. I tried to pull on it. I'm not going to get it out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the whole hole over to here. So I'll just keep this in the wall and our lever will be inside here. So I'm just moving it down a little bit. I don't think it'll make a big difference on the back of the microwave. Because you can see where we don't even have this off, and it's really not going to make a bunch of difference. So I'm going to take my level and I'm going to mark my height in each corner, my top on top. We're going to figure out where level is on the other side of the wall so we can drill through the house. We'll use a square to find the sides. There's our hole. We're gonna lay it out from outside. Okay, that didn't work. It's not deep enough. So now I'm gonna have to go get the Sawzall and do some surgery. Okay, I did it. Throw that down on the wall. A little bit of insulation. And it looks pretty good. Well, go get some parts from the hardware store and we'll change this around so it blows out the back instead of out of the top. I got this off of Amazon. This 10 by 3.5 inch, I'm probably gonna go cut this flange stuff off so I can slide this into the back of that, which will extend it out to where I need to be. And then what I plan on doing then is I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna go put tape around the siding so I can put some clear silicone on it and seal it. I might fill this up between the siding and the existing house. Make sure you get window and doors so it doesn't expand and make a hump. And then once I get them together, I'm gonna put some sponge window seal tape just on the back of this wall here, so when I put the microwave back up, there won't be any air leaking. Plus I will make sure that I use tape in between the joints, and I will also put it to fill all these holes and stuff, so no air can move in it. Excuse me, I'm sorry it's hard to see, but with that right there, you can see the end of it. I only have 1 3/4 inches to the wall. If I slide that into this groove here, which would come back about that far, it's too big. So I'm gonna have to cut it back to here somewhere and kind of just redo this a little bit with the pair of snips that I got. $11 for Craftsman. So we'll get that done. Next step is we want to put some painter's tape around where we're going to do the caulking so that we can fill the gaps and all that stuff. And when we pull the painter's tape off, it'll look nice. So let's pull this out. Easier said than done. Look at our wall thickness here. You can see that we're pretty solid. I don't think any air is going to move through there much. So we're just going to let that go, but we are going to caulk this gap here. We'll put some expando foam in it so no air blows around in it. Between this being caulked shut and then you have this foam, the existing siding, and insulation board, there's going to be more heat and also coldness soaking through the metal than there is going to be any wind or anything. So I think that's what we're going to do. Okay, so all we're going to do is put a bead of silicone by the edge of the tape and put it on real thick there. I'm going to build this up, and we want to make sure we leave it a little bit extra in there, so when we put the cover on, it'll ooze out. We'll just wipe it out. So let's put the cover in. As you can see, we're oozing out. That's what we want. We'll just take our finger and we'll just smooth that out with our finger. We don't care if it gets on the blue tape because we're going to pull the blue tape off. We just don't want it all over our vent. Just won't be such a good look. and we'll put our screws in and pull that tape off. This is going to be hitting the weather. We're going to use some stainless steel. So I'm going to pre-drill the holes first before I screw them in. Got 4 screws in here. Now all we're going to do is pull our tape up, our painter's tape up. So we got a nice bead across there. Yourself a favor from the inside. Make sure that it is sealed. No light coming through. Save you some trouble down the road in case you torque it too far on a corner. Decided to just cut it on this side all the way around. We'll just get rid of that. Of course I have to cut through that so I can bend it and get my tin snips through it. So we're going to cut that all the way around. Careful modifying and stuff. If you don't know what you're doing, just wear gloves or something, because this stuff will cut you up pretty good. Just be careful with it. We're going to cut this one all the way down here, all the way around, so when we put it in, it'll be flush on the wall. Simply just bend up the tabs as much as you can, and then we're going to go outside and flatten them out with a hammer, and then it should cut right off. You're done, and it should look something like that. And we'll tape all that in. And we'll tape this. Alright, so here's what we got going on here. We taped all this in here real good. And we're pretty much done outside here. Now we're gonna put the screen on and we're done out here. Right, there's the outside vent. That's complete. Okay, so we put the foam on here. It's really spongy, bigger than the hole. And our next step is to start on the back of the fan on the microwave. So when the microwave goes up against that, it should seal on the back of it. Take the fan and change the rotation. There's 2 ways it can do it. It can blow straight up, and it can blow out the back. In factory, it's set up so it's blowing inside the channel and blows out the front of it, of the microwave. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this off. So far, I think it's just 3 screws. And I don't know how it comes out yet. Oh, there it goes. Probably have to take these 2 out, get the motor out. We'll do that. It should pull straight out, just like that. It pulls out, and we're gonna have to rotate it so it blows out the back. And we'll probably have to punch out these punch outs right here. Well, let's do that. LG, you have to break these little tabs right here somehow. Once you break them, and it pulls up, it comes out. So we'll do the same to that one. Drop this back down. We'll find out where them screws go, the holes. We'll have to line them up, figure out where to go. There it is. We'll put the 2 screws in. Okay, now that them are tight, we'll put this top cover back on. We'll screw that back in. 3 screws should go right back in the same place. Before I tape all this all up so it doesn't leak air, get better pressure going outside, wiped it down with some rubbing alcohol before I put my tape on it. It was pretty dirty. Okay, all the holes are plugged up. She's ready to hang. In order to do this, you have to put the back of it on that bracket, and you have to push the cord up through the hole of your cabinet so you can plug it in later. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put on the bracket, use our shoulder to hold it, and put the cord up through, and then we'll make sure we got this 2x4 close by so we can shove it underneath it so we can get up a little bit higher and put the screws in it. Before we commit, let's test it. She blows. As you can tell, I got it up. Make sure it's on the bracket. Make sure it's anchored. Make sure your cord's through. We're using 2x4 to brace it while we put our top screws in. If you're going to use a drill, make sure you get a screwdriver and they're not cross-threaded before you start wrenching them back down. Hey. Flaps up. Blows great. It blows great. We know we did it right. We shut off, make sure the flap closes. That should be a wrap. And our vent's closed. Only thing left to do is put your tools away. Maybe see if you can talk the wife into possibly helping out too before you put the stove back. Wipe all the grease off the cabinets and off the ceiling. Put everything back. All you can do is put tools away. But at the beginning of my video, I was expecting there to be a stud in the way, and all I was going to do was notch my metal around and put tape around the stud. So I wouldn't have to reframe the wall, but it worked out pretty good. Didn't have to do that. After investigating, I noticed that this was sucking air like crazy through the top. And it wasn't very strong there or there. So as you can see, it's sucking in there, and all this is open, so I clogged it up to see what would happen. See, it sucks in there. Sucks in there. So they're made to do all sorts of air movement. So it used to blow out the top. Not very strong to me. So let's pull the tape off and see if that paper towel falls out. All right, here we go. Didn't make a world difference. It's a lot stronger. Not a world difference. So we're just experimenting. I'm probably gonna just leave it alone. I'll probably unclog these, and I'll probably just clog the middle holes here. Leave that open so it can get air. But this is pretty much unnecessary. This little spot here in the middle. It's got a stop channel there, stop channel there. You can see that the fan shields are turned around. It used to blow out here. So before it was still sucking air in here, and kind of sort of here, and blowing out the front. But now that we changed that around, it's sucking all over the place. And I think, like I said, I'm gonna clog the louver up here, maybe with some foil tape, and experiment with that for a little bit, see if it gets a little bit stronger. Okay, so I decided to try some foil tape on the side of the vents, but I left this open for the control panel in case it needs to be cooled. It's not sucking air like it was on top anymore, except for over here in this little spot. And I don't think it's gotten any stronger. Yeah, a little bit. This side's definitely stronger over here. But as you can see inside there, you know, it was designed to go different ways, and there's nowhere for like a furnace where it's got an intake and then it has an exhaust. It's just made to go different directions and cool different things. So we'll experiment with that. Hopefully that makes it a little better. It's an induction stove. I just turned it on. These things move fast. I mean, there's only a ½ inch of water in there. It's better, but it's still steaming up the front of the microwave a little bit. Yeah, but it's not getting all of it.